What's going on, guys? Welcome to the YouTube channel. I got Dion over here. We're going to do a little Go High Level tutorial. And of course, we're keeping it all AI because that's where the future is going. So let's get into it. Oh, so Dion, I know you showed me this video a while ago, and I was like trying to figure out, how it works or how I can present it, or just a different aspect. And I was like, well, let's take a look at this bad boy and see what we can do here. So,
Mhm.
anybody out there? Boom. Anybody out there using Go High Level, you know, or unfamiliar with Go High Level or what it can do? Basically, it's a CRM, and well, it's a CRM, it's an AI, it's a social post, it's anything and everything website creator, like so many different things. In
Mhm.
fact, if I'd like to get to that certification class.
Mhm.
I passed all my tests. I just haven't signed up for the final test yet. So, but anyway, basically, the idea works like this, right? So if I was to go into, I don't know, I guess we're doing DJ content, so I'll move my head over there and we'll just go into the DJ website. Now, when you get Go High Level, anybody out there that doesn't know what Go High Level is, I mean, you get what is called an agency account, and that agency account would say is the parent account. So anything that you create underneath that would be considered a sub account. And what people do with agency accounts is that they go and call people that don't have websites. So here's an idea, right? You could go to Google and look for a landscaper and then type that into Google. So if right. So if we're in Orlando, right? So we just type in landscaper, right? And then we have all these businesses right here. So basically, what you'd want to do is look for more businesses. You probably don't want these people on top because they're the ones that paid to have their name on top. We'd probably go like to number 8 or something like that. If it loads, go to number 8. And then you see how this one, Innovation Landscaper LLC, they have directions, but they don't have a website, but they do have a phone number. So what I did was I hired somebody to call people that don't have websites. But this one, Landscape Bros Corp. And then you just scroll down and find anybody that doesn't have a website. This one doesn't have a website. This one doesn't have a website. And basically, the service that we're selling is that, if you call them and they don't answer the phone, we leave a message that says, well, wouldn't you like to have AI, answer the phone for you? So think of all the business that you're missing. Or, also, you know, you don't have a website either. So what's going on here? Right. And then what you could do is once you find these people and give them a call or hire someone like I did, you would just then create a website for them. And then what you could do is we're going to stick with the DJ thing. So over here on the left is sites, right? So here we go. Of all these different types of sites, and for a landscaper or something simple, we're just going to do what is called a funnel page. So if I move my head over here, there's this new funnel, right? So you click on that, and then if you wanted to spend a lot of time and customize something and make sure their name and everything was in it and the colors of their company and all that stuff, you could do that. Or you could go to templates. We could just take a look at those real quick. And then they have all these different designs that are already kind of like pre-created. And let's see if I type in landscaper or landscape appointments, landscape book and quote, landscaping, all these different, designs are already made. And you can see they're in green because landscapers, they probably want to have their colors green, have to do with the grass and stuff. And then we can just look at it real quick. And what you would do is that you would, well, if they had a logo, but they don't have a website, so basically, you would just fill their information in with whatever they have in Google and say, hey, look, we have this website already designed. You can have this up and running in no time. And then we can also connect it to a Google booking count, a Google Calendar, which would connect to your Zoom or either Google Meet, and or just put your phone number up here. And then on top of that, we can create or have AI answer your phone for you. So how that works is that you would go into phone numbers and then just get a phone number, and then uh, that would be connected within the Go High Level system. So there's so many different things to talk about, on how all this stuff integrates. So leave a comment down below and then we can go into detail into any specific area. So, but today I just wanted to, since I got Dion, he'll probably ask me some questions and stuff. And, he's learning this stuff as well. So this will get him a good foot forward. So basically, when you go to New Funnel, this channel is about that AI.
Mhm.
AI. My goal is to be a presenter over the DJ Expo or one of these conventions over here, showing people how to utilize AI within their business so that they could do what they do best and have AI do the rest, right? So we're going to hit this continue button. And we're just going to do ABC DJ company. Boom.
Boom,
And then
boom.
entertainment agency. Perfect. And when you first sign up, you get free five generations. So I've done this 4 or 5 times because I was playing around with the features and stuff. So I'm already in there. So what do we want to do? We want to generate more leads, right? Or do we want to get appointments, or do we want to showcase services or sell products and services? So we're not a e-commerce store, so we're not going to do that. But basically, as a DJ company, you want to get leads because it's not like, in the world of marketing or sales or whatever, every dream would be like, a line would just start up in front of you they'd all have a pen in their hand. You would just, oh, here's sign this, sign. That's not how the world works. I wish it was, and we'd all be rich and that'd be great, but that's not how it is. What you want to do is you want to collect leads, get their information, follow up with them, and then whenever they're good and ready, they'll come to you, and then you have them sign a contract after you've, explained and sold your services. So basically, we could keep friendly, professional, inspiring, conversational, humorous, and that all has to do with your personality and your branding, right? And then this will give you a good foot forward. So I'm just going to leave it as is, and then we're going to go hit generate. Now, while that's doing that, we got our landscapers over here, and maybe if you want to find DJs that didn't have websites, you could call them up as well. So, but I'm going to go to my good friend Gemini and say, hey, look, Gemini, I was wondering if you can help me out. I need a little bit of SEO help because I know you're good with Google. So I'm going to give you some information to a website that we're creating right now. Basically, it's a funnel page, and we're a ABC DJ company. And right now I'm doing a YouTube tutorial to show people how easy it is to use AI to create websites. Thank you. Boom. All right. And while we did that, it's still generating.
Hmm.
Any questions so far, Dion?
No, looking good. I really like this. I like it all. It's looking great for me.
So again, when it comes to AIs, you got to make sure to train them, right? So it's already asking me questions. So SEO for ABC company funnel page. Since you're creating a funnel page, the SEO strategy should be laser focused on converting visitors. Unlike a traditional website that might have many different pages for different topics, a funnel page has a one specific goal. So that's something a lot of people don't understand either. Like a funnel page is a website, but there's nowhere else to go on a funnel page but down the line. If you're on a website, there's all these different places to click and all these different things to look at, right? So, oh, what is a cloud dance, or what is this DJ, or have you done corporate events? Well, if you're just starting out, you got to start out small and then build on top of that. And if you have a funnel page, we'll consider this your home page, and then you could branch off from there. So you want to keep that in mind, especially when you're making, small steps. And if you don't have a website, where are you in your business to begin with, right? And then also you would want to focus on what type of events you want to do. So if you were doing a wedding, the website would be more wedding. Me personally, I wanted my website to be more global, even though we do a lot of weddings. That's fine. But do I want to turn my back on a corporate event? No, I want it to be as strong as it can for a corporate event. So while that's doing that, here's a little trick that I learned. You can always hit duplicate tab. So now this will still be loading, and this will still bring me up to the same page. And then, since we're on the website stuff, you could take a look at the website that I already created inside of GoHighLevel and that hasn't been domain switched yet. So it's a new domain, and anybody that types in King Entertainment Events, they'll be able to find this page, but it's not like the main homepage that goes out in all the emails, because that would be what was considered a DNS switch. And this is something that I created mimicking the original website that I made in WordPress. So the whole goal of the website, now again, depending on what your client base is, or if you specialize in weddings, or if you specialize in clubs, or if you specialize in corporate events, and then ask yourself if that's enough to maintain your way of living, if you were just niched into one thing. So me personally, I wanted to grab as much as possible. So with the website design, right, you could click this and take an IV, and it'll show you where it's hosted. So basically I got a little tab up here. It says we do corporate events. It says we do weddings, high school dances. And then as you scroll down, there's a little video that is a highlight video of events we've done previously. And then, here's a little picture of a corporate event that we did, and explaining the vision of the company. If you wanted to chat with the AI, you could, and this will set up Zooms for you as well. It'll answer any questions other than what it's been trained to answer. So a lot of questions I get are based around prices, like how much do you charge? It says every event is unique. It's not like they can just take my prices and run with them. They actually got to sit down or call me to figure it out. And if they can't take the time to find out more about my services, then they're probably not a good fit for the business that we run. And that may be different depending on where you're at with your business. So if you're just starting out, and maybe you want to give your prices sooner, but if you give your prices and they run off, or if you don't have an email sequence to follow up with them, or say, hey, look, we're running a special or something like that, there's no reason for them to come back to you unless they really dig your personality. And how many people are you talking to in a day to make that worth your while? So my advice is not to show your prices on your website. Sit down with them, explain that you know what you're doing, and then have them more intrigued to learn more about your services or feel comfortable with you as a person. Are you showing up on time? Are you knowledgeable about whatever it is that you're talking about? Can you convince them that you're the one for the job, or your company is the best fit for them, right? So what type of, and these questions right here, the FAQs, these are trained in the bot. So when someone comes to the website and start asking, it'll go off of this website, and also with the bot, it'll scan the entire website and then know uh, how to answer any random questions that they get from anybody that visits the site. Another very important thing about having on your website is that I used to connect everything to a YouTube channel, because YouTube and Google get along pretty good because they're the same parent company, right? So I have all my stuff on YouTube. And this video is super important because it explains the services that anybody who's not getting married every single weekend wouldn't understand, right? So this is what this video is. They don't know what a cloud dance is. They don't know what uplights are. They may think they know, or they may get one DJ that didn't know what they were talking about, telling them something, and then they could come over here and get like the real information, right? Or how we present the information. And then who would you go with? Someone that doesn't know what they're talking about, or somebody who shows you exactly what it is they're selling? So, and then also, I've been talking to a lot of guys and they don't have pop-up opt-in windows on their website. So if you don't get these people's information, you can't follow up with them, right?
Mhm.
They can't see how professional you are. It's like just, I don't know, farting in the wind or something. I don't know. But anyway, you want to be able to collect their information. So I guess this is going to take a second to load. All right. So again, I don't know. We've probably been on this call 5 minutes or so, and now it's generated a website for me. And then if you don't like the colors, right? This is what we call the home row. It has your whole, what pages you want it to run to. But since we did a funnel page, it's just one page. So if you click on this, this is like the outer grid. So you could hit the color button and then change the color, like red. There you go. Now we have a red website. Or if you want it something like that, gray. I don't know. We'll stick with the red. We got so you could change it, right? And then what you want to do is make this a global section. So this may be your first page to start off with. And then moving from there, there's a little save button, and then you can make it a global section. So every time you know, add a page or do something different on another page, it changes it on all the pages. And then of course you have three options to have with your save global section, right? So save templates, right? Saves a copy. So which can be used anywhere as a template. And then there's a global section, right? So okay, so the first one, right? So if you save it as a template, let's say you had three squares on there. Oh, photo booth is this, and then it's this much to add this, and it's this much to add this, right? So you would save that section, because let's say on the home page you want to talk about your photo booths, and then later on you make a photo booth page. You could just plop that square back in, and it's the same material that's on the other page, right? But and then this other global section, right? Save at funnel level. Any changes in one instant will be synced across this funnel only. So if you made extra pages or extra steps in your funnel, and then you change the home row, you don't have to go to every single page and change every single page. It just changes it once and does it everywhere. And then that's the universal section. Saves at account level. Oh, account level. So basically, me personally, as an agency owner, I could create that, and then more DJs are like, "Oh, I need something," so I could just give it to them, and then now it's theirs to do what they want, and those are called snapshots.
Mhm.
So those are the three options.
Okay.
So you have that, and then over here to this page. So basically, you see how you can't see the wording here? because it's
Hmm.
black on gray on black. So we're just going to do this and then change the text color to white. Boom. Now you can read it. I don't know why I did that. Hey, I'm so silly sometimes. So now we
Hmm.
can read that. And then say we didn't like the image here. It's like, or we want to lighten this up a little bit, or dark, or make it blue, right? Or red to the same color we had over here. So now we have matching. But I'll do blue just to show you something different. And then this background image isn't too flattering, right? So your images are here. So you could just go here and then put any image that you wanted to load in there. So here's a little happy me selfie wedding client, boom, insert. So now we have that. But maybe something better than a selfie, but you could change it to whatever you want. Um, so okay, so book your DJ, that would link to your calendar. But again, if you're talking to landscapers, you would just put their name and you know their information inside of here and just send it over to them. Say, hey, look, I know you need a website. How you like this one? And then they would already physically have it, right? And then of course we have other images here, and you could change the copy to however you want. But basically, we've been on this call, I don't know, no less than 10 minutes, and then we've already got a site, and we could change images to whatever we want. This image, I don't know. I don't like that. I can just click on that, go over here. Let's get a better DJ image. Oh, there's Jacob. Boom, inserts. Boom. Discover vibrant beats with our premier DJ services. And then we have Jacob over there. And then if we wanted to change the background color back to that blue that we were using, or I don't know, you can do a gradient if you want. But anyway, so now we have these buttons. Book your DJ, and then on the right, you can tell it what you want it to do. So basically, it links to a URL. So if you had a link to a URL, or if you wanted to open a pop-up for an opt-in like I had on my page, you could do open a pop-up. And then if you wanted to change what your pop-ups are, you go over here. Pop-up settings, yay! Or create new pop-up. And since I had, different things loaded over here, if you wanted to do pop-ups, you would go back to your forms. So we're on websites, sites, right? And then your forms over here, form builder, add form from scratch or from templates. What if I do from scratch? I think when from scratch, it gives you like a pretty good starting point. Yeah, so first name, last name, phone number, email, and then of course your two, like, oh, I don't mind getting text messages from you or signing up for your email list. And then if we wanted to, we could just say um ABC opt-in form, ABC opt-in form, save. And then now when we go back over here, remember I was talking about, different things that could happen.
Hmm.
So instead of link to website, open pop-up. And then what pop-up do you want? Open pop-up. And then you put your pop-up sections over here,
Okay.
column, add row, add element, pop-up video,
Pop, pop, pop.
elements. Uh, sign up today for
Hmm.
the latest down for the details. Boom. Something better than that, but
Boom.
whatever. Then we'll do that. Okay, how do I add form? Is it form? Yeah, form. Boom. Help if I click the plus button.
Hmm.
Is it this one? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Boom. And then we do form. Do. What form do you want? We did ABC opt-in form. Boom. So
Hmm.
now you have all that. First name. Well, I would go back to first name and last name and make those required. Again, you want there's people information, and if they're not serious enough. So there we go. We saved that. And what you
Okay.
would do is see, now we're back to our SEO. Once you hit save SEO, I would be like, it says title. So I go back to Gemini and say, oops, can you give me a title for the home page SEO? ABC DJ company, top wedding and event thing. And if you didn't want to do weddings, you would just say, hey, don't do weddings. All right. And then I was like, and this one is description is 155 characters or less. And then you would go over here. Can you give me a meta description of 155 characters or less? And then you have three different options. And then, of course, you would do that for every single page.
Mhm.
Author, Coach Scott King, and save. Okay, so we got a home row. You don't have a logo. Again, you would go over here to the right, and anywhere you see like long URL addresses is pretty much how you change out the logo. So I could go over to here and type in logo. Again, another cool thing with Go High Level, and if you wanted to change the size, you would go over here. So pixel width is, and I would just make it 150. There you go. Now it's smaller, or you can make it 75. See, something like that. So yeah, if you guys don't have a logo, I would just go to Fever and make your own logo. And then of course with these buttons, go back and go back through, change them all to the pop-up we just made. Change your images to your own. If you don't have a lot of crazy images, you can go to Envato and have those change up. And then of course these testimonials aren't real, but they put a spot in there for you. So what you want to do is you want to go over here to page and find out whatever section this is. Not that section, not that section, this section. Yay. All right. So you hit these three dots and say hide. Boom. And then of course change your frequently asked questions, which you could go to Gemini and ask those and put those in there with answers. And that was a rough tutorial. What do you think? Question. Yeah, what questions do you have?
That was good. I mean, you got me thinking on the logo maker. I'm sure eventually they'll probably have a maker built in here soon. So you don't have
Yeah,
to
I like
listen.
talking to a person and then, having it more customizable.
Okay, okay. So you said
But
you can do web hosting everything there, right?
yeah, so yeah, you buy your domain, and then you can host it all on the website, and then you have, Google Drive where you can, I have other videos where it's like, oh, here's a social post, but I can also add that to my website, right? And then since I have it all integrated, you can, have an AI bot go to your social post, right? So if you ever see on Facebook where it's like type the word book down below to get more details, it'll do
Mhm.
that. And how does that work, right? As a DJ, you'd be like, well, we're running a special right now for reception and, ceremony. Type the word wedding down below, and then we'll send you some details.
Mhm.
Something like that. I mean, I don't really operate like too much in the internet world. Not everything translates to the DJ business, but, it has those capabilities.
Okay. It's pretty badass, man. That thing is it's freaking amazing.
Yeah. I did like five other recordings to like make that look that smooth, but
hmm
yeah, it ain't too bad. Like I sit there and play around with it for a while, but yeah, you got to think of the workflow of the person getting married or your customer or your lead, right? They don't
hmm
know anything about you. You're gonna have to follow up with them a whole lot. You want to look professional. You got to be able to collect their information, do follow-ups, and then do the sales call plus close the contract and then perform the gig. And then it's like,
hmm
well, if you're really good as a DJ, like how good are you at this other stuff? Now I know DJs, are really into technology and then like proactive, at the
hmm
same time, this AI thing or whatever is going on with technology, it is a lot to keep up with.
Yep, it's true. That's the damn truth.